Before we get the video going, I just want to let you know that right now, starting on the 12th and through the end of the year, I have a special sale going on exclusively on Smashword. Yeah, that's right, sale. How much is the sale? About 50% off. Yeah, so there you go. And the sale is on my books, the Glitch series that you can see right over there. Yeah. So if you want to read some scintillating stories from me, yeah, just go over to the Smashword website, look up Smashword sale, and enjoy yourself. And just to make sure you find my books, I'll leave links down below in the description. Okay? Right. Now let's get on with the video.
There's never a cop around when you need one.
Hello again. Essay here. Anyone who is familiar with the acronym ACAB, then I'll have to explain it to you. For everyone else who's ignorant, it's basically a term that was originally coined in England in the early 20th century. I think it was in the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around that time. And it was originally coined by people who were basically like striking workers against and then of course the police would show up. And thus, all cops are bastards, basically translated as ACAB. It was basically a slur. And yet it didn't become more embraced until the 1970s. Indeed, I remember there was this British film came out during that time period called All Cops Are. I didn't watch all the way through, but I saw most of it. But it was basically a crime drama. But anyway, the term since then has been embraced by other peoples, such as anti-capitalists, punksters, skinheads, and then of course finally the woke crowd. Yeah, because anyone who remembers the George Floyd riots knows that there was a lot of those Antifa clowns with their stupid black mask on, screaming ACAB. Well, I'm about to show you a little video by that big boy, Jeremy from the Quartering. And let's just say some person who clearly embraced ACAB, let's just say they were forced to eat their words. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Absolutely love to see it. I know a few people have kind of talked about this story, but it's getting deeper as now the individual at the heart of the story is whining and complaining that people are making fun of her. Look, I've often said the police are imperfect. I believe that the vast majority of police officers are there for the right reasons and do want to help people, do want to help their communities. But I also believe that as a private citizen, you should be careful. You should protect your rights. You shouldn't be talking. You shouldn't ever do anything that puts yourself in harm's way from a self-incrimination standpoint. I'm a big fan of Shut the F Up Fridays in terms of reminding people how to have interactions when they have interactions with police. But I do think the majority of them want to help people and are brave, and most of the bad stuff around the police that, in my opinion, are related to the union. But I'm also not living in the socialist paradise that is San Francisco, where a defund the police advocate had all her worldly possessions stolen while living in a U-Haul truck, apparently, and is now whining and complaining that the police didn't come. And of course, the internet's doing exactly what the internet does and ruthlessly trolling this woman. Again, rightfully so. Reminder, all of our flavored K-Cups, 15% off today. Stock up, pick up a case. I don't think they've ever been 15% off, and it's only till midnight. So pick up a case, stock up, get ready for Christmas. You're having people over. You want to have these coffees available. The gingerbread is absolutely delicious. Little cream, little natural sweetener on all these really brighten them up. They taste delicious, and we make it. We're not some dropship garbage outlet. San Francisco defund the police advocate trolled after U-Haul with all her possessions gets stolen. The San Francisco woman who wanted to, quote, defund the police is complaining online after thieves stole everything she owned from U-Haul truck last week. Now, I don't think that part's funny. Like, I don't think it's super funny when people, have crimes, when they're victims of crimes. But what it is funny is that she's whining about the police not helping her. She had everything she owned, and she's now being mocked by social media users, pointing out the irony. Hey guys, if you see a 26-foot U-Haul truck with Arizona plates AL 50003, would you let me know, because it had like everything I own in it. Darcy Bell, who goes by Neo Antiquarian on X, wrote. So here you see a lot of people probably initially sympathetic, right? 18,000 likes. Apparently, hey, Aaron Peskin, who's this? Oh, she's reaching out to her local government. Oh man, it gets even better. It would be cool if I could get my stuff back, but also, could you maybe do something to make sure companies like U-Haul put GPS in their vehicles so when theft occurs, I could at least know where my stuff went? Why didn't you do that? Why? That sounds like you want more government. To me, it sounds like you want more government. I'm like moving out of my house because I can't afford to live here anymore. My kid just broke his femur at one of your many underfunded San Francisco schools, and there was no nurse present to help him. I had to push him to my car in a rolling office chair. Lamau, WTF is this city? I just want my stuff back. The sentimental stuff, please. I don't care about the people who stole it. People steal stuff, of course. I just hope they don't take the stuff that I need and I can recover my personal stuff. I mean, these people are terminally woke. Terminally woke. They can't possibly see the irony that they're like, yeah, well, I don't care that people steal stuff. I just want my stuff back. If you cared that people stole stuff and you supported your local police, maybe you'd have more of them to stop this crime. Hilarious twist. U-Haul is still charging them for the move and the mileage driven by the thieves. You can't make this stuff up. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Mocking. Wonder if it's inside job. I mean, what? I'm fine, it's just stuff. Are you though? You see, but also, could you do something about the theft? I want my stuff back. Then they wrote, when we locked down and people had time to get angry and organize, we took to the streets to demand justice. Lots of promises to defund the cops that'll never happen. No matter how bad this lockdown gets, they'll never give us the ability to do that again. They'll always prioritize cops. Oops. So defund the police, huh? T. Wolf writes, I'm not trying to be mean, but Darcy has spent years railing against police and public safety while scolding people like me for supporting accountability. It's all good until it happens to you. You see this? Owner Elon Musk also chimed in. Turns out police are very important. What a crybaby. Whoever took her stuff clearly needed it more than her. How about showing some empathy for society's victims for once? Another ex-user joked. I mean, just hours after she filed the police report, Bell told the New York Post the authorities haven't done anything. They haven't found my stuff. The cops didn't do anything. U-Haul made me file a police report, she complained. There's cameras all over the city. They haven't done anything. I just want my stuff back. Well, if only you had some sort of organization, some kind of like group of people that enforce the law, the rule of law. I don't really know. Is there a word for this? You know, if only there were some sort of policing group. The post went viral, but not for the reason she had hoped. Bell had spent years posting left-wing defund the police views, and across the site users blasted and mocked the activist. Anti-police activist begs for help. Jeered X account Bay State of Mind, which comments on San Francisco Bay politics. Tom Wolfe, in addition to recovery advocate, who has nearly 30,000 followers, posted a screenshot of the previous post in which Bell blasts the San Francisco police alongside a screenshot of a recent plea, shot chaser. Bell goes by whatever. Mere hours after she filed the police report, she then complained that the police didn't immediately follow her stuff or find her stuff. Here's T. Wolf, shot chaser. For all those accusing her of hypocrisy, she insisted she literally never called the cops and is only reposting more calls to defund the law enforcement for good measure. U-Haul urged her to alert authorities to the theft of the truck. Please be sure to contact us back to provide the police report to the Equipment Recovery Department, the company's policy told her. As for her critics, she sneered at them. Look at all these good Christian victim advocates celebrating my kids using their belongings at Christmas. Well, I mean, you didn't care before. You didn't want police before. You didn't want police before at all, did you? Now let's go to the real gold is the hidden replies, of course. I don't think you understand the mindset of a thief. They don't steal stuff because they need. They steal stuff because they want. I hope this helps the learning, but it's so based to call the police. I guess we do need them. First, you got to calm down. Secondly, ACAB doesn't offer any wiggle room to negotiate with the police. You are bad at the philosophy game. Bummer, dude. You should have left that apocalyptic hellscape sooner. Here's some word of advice from Elon. Hope it helps. Whatever happens, don't let it ruin your day. Fun fact, San Francisco is unsafe because of people like you. The real villain here is the corporation. Yeah, You are not a serious person, but I'm sorry this happened to you. Karma's a breed. San Francisco is a lovely city with a high quality of life. I don't feel safe in my neighborhood. You literally voted for this.
All right, you saw that. Now, of course, anyone who's ever dealt with law enforcement knows it's a mixed bag of fruit. I mean, on one end of the spectrum, you have Barney Fife types. You know, the bungling cop with the one bullet in the gun because they don't trust him with a full magazine. And then the other end of the spectrum, you have basically Judge Dredd, you know, or Maniac Cop, which is a film series I'm not going to get into. Yeah. And those people, you want to be in a different zip code from them. But then there's everyone else in the middle. And of course, you don't know who you're going to deal with. You really don't. You could be dealing with a regular, a straight up kind of guy, like Jack Webb, just the facts. Or you could be dealing with an asshole in uniform. Hey, it happens. I mean, anyone who remembers the Rampart scandal can tell you, yep. There's a lot of, there are a-holes in all police departments. And of course, the problem is that the bad cops, and let's not pretend there's more than one in each department, they basically, smear all the police, with their misbehavior. But of course, as you saw in that Big Boys video, just because you have bad cops doesn't mean all cops are bad. And then sometimes, when you get robbed, you do want the cops around to catch the bad guys. But apparently this woman didn't learn that lesson. Of course, she learned it now because she got robbed. And I'm thinking, Yeah. And of course, as you saw in Big Boy's video, she now had to eat her own words. In other words, she was sitting there screaming, defund the police and yada, yada, yada. And then when she gets fried, she says, oh, help, where's the police at? And I'm thinking, yeah, well, you're living in San Francisco, one of the most crime infested places in the world, within the borders of the United States, of course. And then you're surprised that the police basically took their time to even bother to show up. Yeah. Because I remember a long time ago, there was them vagrant who came down on our property. And I didn't want to take him with the guy because the guy smelled like a damn unflushed toilet. And I called the PD, and the PD asked me, is the guy breaking into your house? And I said, not yet. And they said, well, call us back when he does. And I'm thinking, well, that's a fine fuck you very much. But eventually the vagrant went away, but still. But the fact that you have these people, these anti-police crowd, well, it's not some of them, especially the Antifa guys. Their antagonism towards law enforcement has less to do about bad cops than the very institution itself. Because I think it was old Tim Pool, I think he mentioned it, but I think he got it from somebody else. Said that the funny thing about these people, these Antifa, these radical leftists, is that they basically want to usurp the police and become the police themselves. And indeed, anyone who remembers the Russian Revolution or even the French Revolution knows that basically what happened in those societies. When those societies broke down through violence and protest, and the governments switched, usually it was the radicals who brought down the government who later basically became the enforcers. And of course, anyone who remembers Robespierre and the provisional government, oh my God, these people can really go off the rails and in a hurry. And the same thing happened back during the early days of the Russian Revolution. Indeed, anyone who was familiar with Felix Dzerzhinsky and the Cheka, aka the precursor to what later became the KGB, yeah, same thing. The Tsar was overthrown, all his ministers got rounded up, or they fled the country, and they became the police. And of course, before you could say Joe Blow, they immediately started abusing their power. So there you go. But of course, anyone who's been familiar with current events knows that despite their best efforts of causing havoc in the country, these damn ACAB types and these radical leftists, they're probably not going to get their revolution in America. At least not anytime soon. So I guess they're going to have to deal with the world as it is, not the world as they wish it to be. And as for that woman, as you saw in that video, eventually the cops did find that rental van of hers. Of course, sans her merchandise, but what can you say? Maybe she shouldn't have just left the damn thing parked on the street in San Francisco. Considering the crime that, wait for it, she voted for. Yeah. Because it wasn't just the Antifa crowds causing problems. The people in San Francisco, which is very, very left, let's not even pretend they are, they voted in for lax enforcement of the laws. That's why you have open air drug dens. That's why you have public defecation. That's why you have unrepentant auto theft. Yeah. Let's not pretend. Justice Department said a long time ago, San Francisco is the car theft capital of America. And we're not just talking about stealing out of the cars either. I mean, they also steal the cars itself. So yeah, to borrow a Obama phrase, you can call what happened to this woman a teachable moment. Regardless of your political philosophy, unless you are walking around with a badge and a gun, you're going to need to rely on someone else who does. Otherwise, you just have chaos and anarchy. And who really wants to live in a world like that? No one whose brains work, obviously. Or someone who was on one of Tim Pool's IRL programs once said, talking about an almost identical situation, the Penny trial in New York. Yeah, the guy said that these leftists, these radicals, would not survive in the world they're trying to bring about. And of course, the guy didn't elaborate further, but anyone who was in the room knows what he meant. In other words, a world where there is no law enforcement and the criminals rule the streets. I'm thinking, yep. Well, that's all I gotta say about this foolish woman screaming ACAB until she actually needed a cop. And if you reach the end of this video, well, hey, give yourself a pat on the back. Because it shows that you have more fortitude than most people on the planet. And that's my opinion.